Welcome to Onivia Highlights. These are the best highlights from the LCK Spring 2025.
And still going to look for the dive. Oh god, Lands the point-blank cocoon as they dive on top of Lazyfield. Lands could be in trouble though, as he's just dead. Not sure about that one. The flash out from Gideon, and that was...
Well, I got my consolation call.
Yep.
And here we go. I hope we don't lose our stacks, as Kingin may be in trouble.
That's a powerful ghoulie wall as Kingin looking to try and get out of there. Hammer does come on through, but that is one more shovel, and Rich takes it down.
Occasionally play. Has a really similar ability. He's hitting those.
Wait, which character?
The Zebo.
Ah!
He has a zombies donut. Hold up.
Very cute. Great handshake from Andil. Gio is just dead. Those adoration stacks just lying on the floor. Yeah, the good thing is that they have the Realm Warp and double teleports and the Grand Starfall, as now Gideon could be in trouble. They are on the wrong side of this as Lahens has come on over. So that is Sponge now trying to get bailed out. It's not going to work though. Gideon going to be just fine, and Lahens went up into the sky to deny that one. And in fact, it's kind of an awkward composition as far as getting those bailout resets, because they can keep themselves alive for that little bit of time. As Gideon is now just dead, guys. Why he walked up there?
See if he can continue to make that pressure happen here onto Andil. We'll be seeing on this ward.
Yep, great handshake as Yukal in position. That repel absolutely fantastic. And Gideon and Calyx, the flash forward! And oh, guys, wait. Well, so they'll have like a secondary option. They can Grand Starfall warp, you know, to get everyone from everywhere.
The idea behind this composition for Nongshim is...
I don't think anyone has ghosts. Lahens is a ghost, by the way. Oh, did you see the little legs? And then he was
dead. Come down. He almost is able to secure this Grump away. Realm Warp, though, is being employed.
Yeah, and there is the Grand Starfall as well. Hostile takeover, though. They're just fighting each other. Still, in goes Gideon, and they're splitting their focus. It doesn't quite work out, and now Gideon, not enough of a wall, as the Draven's cashing in, ladies and gentlemen, from across the map. Rich wants to get bailed out. It almost happens, but Kingin just dives on top of Andil. He needs to get Fates called, and Nongshim will finally find their team fight. And look at that, 1.4K is now
just insane. So the Draven was too big to fail.
It is now.
Mention it.
Well, he's just going to walk towards two people. He's going to say stand aside, and they're going to say, all right, flashes out of the way of the hostile takeover. That's another kill, but Sponge, he's able to offer one back. Still, I think you're happy to take that trade to get more money onto your Draven.
They get a charge.
Will get a charge.
Yeah, and Rich is going to get a turret in return. I know this looks exciting in cinematic, but he teleports still completes now. It doesn't get canceled.
Kingin looking for Rich, and he's got Gideon there to turn up alongside him, and the Maiden just has a video, you know.
Sometimes when I see Faker walk around the corner when I'm going for a bathroom break or something too, like I just like instinctively press F in my mind. But so you know, it's okay for Draven. Especially Draven that has a Renata, but it doesn't have a Renata in this game, is playing into one.
Yeah, if it was like worse rather than better,
we had that DRX stat earlier this week on Nongshim's previous match where we were showcasing as King gets a turret here, and showcasing for Soul Point. And I don't think DRX have the damage to rush this down. It is going to be a little tricky, though. They are seen on this ward, and they have
many globals. There's so many. Like, how are you supposed to do anything about it as Rich puts himself in the ghoulie cage?
It's just going to be like they're hoping that the Rend is enough to rush this down. I mean, they have Callista, so they have a lot of secure here, but I don't know if they're going to win the fight, even if they get the secure.
Oh, this is so difficult. Yeah, Yukal on a decent flank angle, and they might be able to get the Otacon, but can they actually get out alive? That's the question. Grand Starfall comes in, Gideon straight into the ghoulie wall, though, as there is the ulti from the Callista helping Andil out, and he is not dead yet. They do manage to take down Lahens. Down goes Gideon at the same time, but Calyx is a monster. Yukal still at full health as Gio chasing after Lazyfield. He's able to pierce his way over the wall.
And even though Lazyfield got chased out of the pit,
Lazyfield is not going to get bailed out of this one, ladies and gentlemen. He is big-time dead.
Yeah, that was...
Fight for this if there is some sort of attempt. Realm Warp to come in, though, and Rich finds himself in a very uncomfortable position. Gio, though, is just fighting against Yukal. That charm had to land. Otherwise, they weren't going to get that kill, and as it turned out, the charm didn't land.
Yeah, so Yukal just loses most of his health, doesn't have teleport, and I think that Nongshim know they can't Baron from this, but they could just push mid hard. If they can get some distinct backs here, they certainly could.
I mean, the problem is when they go back, then the Baron just goes over to Nongshim. They're going to look for a fight here instead as oh my god, the Whirling Death is just massive damage. Hostile takeover is not taking anyone this time around. Andor going to have to flash to get himself out of the way. And without Lazy Feel, I don't think they have much of a hope of stopping this purple worm from falling down. Calyx able to lock up the rest of these minions, and there it will go. This should be the back-breaking play for the Noodle Boys.
Doing a lot of damage right now with each and every axe he tosses into the Baron's face.
Would you say that he's reminding them of their mortality wall?
Yeah, I think so. The Baron is reminded. Does Baron have a ghost?
Oh, that's mid lane and top lane. So the Dragon, not something that Nongshim really care about here, as Lahen's just going to be dash cannon around. He didn't have full information of who was in that banana brush.
I mean, they're just
stopped a bunch of backs.
Stopping backs and winning the game.
Yeah, it is. That would have been solitary Chemtech Dragon and Lahen's for Nexus. And I think Nongshim are kind of okay with it, as the Baron buffed minions looking for some Nexus turrets. The rest of DRX are able to get back, but the Maiden is going to melt. And there are still minions here. My god, even the Shock Blasts are really scary now, as Andil does find a knock-up and a handshake onto Calyx, but he just goes golden. Gideon is in amongst it. Lazy Feel, hop and map at the Whirling Death. It should be enough to take him down, but never mind. The bailout is actually pretty good to keep him standing. Rich now looking for a little bit
trade. So it's looking up here. I know they have Prio, and actually they will secure said dragon.
Well, at least they're here for now. Lahen's moves over. There is a handshake. He gets pulled in, but of course, he is Elise. So he goes up into the sky.
Hard to get that steal.
Yukal in an uncomfortable position here. Sponge goes in, but he's going to go out via the Death Chamber, I'm pretty sure. He flashes, desperately looking for the bailout, but it does not work, as now Yukal, he goes golden. Jiu's going to put an axe in him. And yes, they managed to get the kill onto Calyx here, but at what cost is the question. Gideon will be able to just jump on top of the Callista. Andil, no way out for him either. Stand aside, good sir, says Jiu. And he's just able to throw that Whirling Axe. My god, that does a lot of damage. There's the ace here for Nongshim. Felt like it was pretty inevitable, as 9,000 gold the lead. And they will just move with so many packets of Ramyun towards this Nexus and take it down.
Really well played here by Nongshim. Love the composition, the execution, and the Draven was a bit of volatility that I didn't necessarily want. But, you know, they played it well. He got that cash in from top lane, got the turret, got the Ko, and I think the comp here from Nongshim is almost exactly the same idea-wise as the Game 1 comp, where you just kind of global on top of somebody and you don't actually walk off.
We actually should do it that way. You can in fact just take the headset off and just start talking into the microphone from across the way. It's now Kingen going aggressive onto Rich here. The Narbar looking okay as Sponge is coming over, and Kingen, he knows he has to commit to it. He flashes, he picks it up just before the Mega Gnar comes in. He will be sacrificed as, some ticking of the potion in the lane is, nice double Shadow Dash there. But the stun does come through. They look to turn it onto Jiu, and the power of the Braum is working as Lazy feels so incredibly close. Lands will finish him off, and now in the battle of the Braum versus Shen, I think I'm feeling like the Shen might be okay. The flash forward as Lahen's gets those empowered autos and then finds the taunt to take him down.
So it's not as good if Jiu had been able to trade a kill, obviously, but Lahen's picks up 2 kills. So it kind of evens out down there. Lavar still has a CS lead as Jiu returns to the lane.
Kingen going for it once again. I've seen this one before. This time, there is a Braum. So Concussive Blows comes down. Kingen able to dash his way out. I think he'll be okay for the moment. Does have the needlework, so he'll be fine.
Andil making a big no-song.
Gentlemen, as he does go into his little mist and then slammed into the wall. And there is Lahen. Stand United comes on through. I believe Andil is going to die, and there is another kill towards the bottom side as well. Man, this observing is so incredibly good. Shout out to good old Jonas Strong there. Like they were the champs that he'd play. Kingen is just trying to run around with these scissors. Calyx, oh no, they are both dead, aren't they? Andil going to be the first one to go down as Calyx, with a Gnar picked up, finds a chain, and there is the paranoia. I do not think this Poppy is making it out. As Gideon, does he have it? The answer is he doesn't need it. As Sponge elects to get rid of the Gwen.
He just kind of gets money.
There's so many Gnars! So many Gnars! As another Stand United, another Shadow Dash, and another death for Rich.
I mean, it's just, I was going to say, it's kind of like a deja vu. His ult yet, so he's kind of bored. He's like, I guess I'll go up here and I'll harass Rich until it's ready, then I'll help you guys get the dragon later. Just hold on a second.
Well, there is the taunt flash, and that should be a dead Rich. Lahen's goes down, but he loves dying, guys. That's exactly what he wants to do.
That's his whole thing, and he's like, well, now I have DRX starting the dragon here. It doesn't look like Nongshim will actually go for a contest here, in part due to Calyx being behind in the side lane and lost half of his health bar, so they are going to give this one up, even though Lahen's would love to ult in and fight.
Yeah, not going to be happening this time around as, tries to sacrifice.
And Kingen will now get the full turret. So that's first turret as well, and feats of strength over to Nongshim. So but they still get money, as you say. It was not just a freebie, as this will not secure the mid turret on its own, but they do have a wave crashing through it. This is a scary timing.
Paranoia comes on forward there as the stands united. There's a nice taunt. Gideon will be taken down. They do get rid of Andil, as now Sponge trying to get himself away. He will successfully do so as the Arcane Storm is down. Lehens is in a bit of trouble, shields himself, but it's a double for Yukal. And Kingen, can you stop this onslaught from the Victor? That's the question, as Rich is on the top side. He's going to get a turret. This game may have been... There also is Poppy and Braum, which can really make things difficult. Gwen is going to make things difficult as well, especially when carrying a Shen. And so that is once again Andil dead. 5 deaths now. They've really been targeting this Braum. You've noticed
that makes up for it in this situation. Maybe we see a give, but no.
Yeah, here we go. Once more. Gideon, though, just going to get separated and eliminated. I don't know about that, Paranoia. That wasn't fantastic, but the Keeper's Verdict is now on cooldown. Nongshim still looking for a fight here. As Yukal, he needs to be the target. He just does so much damage if left unattended. Chains of Corruption go down as there's a flash in, and Rich just explodes once again, denied. And Lehens, he will fall. Lazyfield goes in, and then Calyx slammed into a wall, and Lazyfield from over the other side is able to hit freely. Sponge now in potentially a little bit of trouble, but Jiu trying to fight back, and Lazyfield's just shooting one after the other. He'll take him down, no fear on this enemy's player. And no, like DRX
the situation when Gideon decides to ult. Look at where his team is, so far away. You're playing into a Poppy. You've mentioned this countless times in this game, and now you're in a situation where the fight is, like you're saying, is here's a Nocturne ult.
Yep, there's another Paranoia as Keeper's Verdict's just going to get rid of Calyx. There is a Shen delivery, but Yukal stands his ground. Gideon just fighting against Sponge. Yukal trying to get himself out of there, as Gwen is immune, kinda, because now she's inside this circle with Lazyfield and Andil. Lazyfield kites it out, gets over the wall. The culling now doing damage to Geo at the same time. Sponge taken low, but he's a Poppy. He doesn't care, and Calyx just surrounded by DRX. Fight after fight, DRX are doing it, and they're finding the angles. Rich finds Meganar finally in this game. Will be able to take down Geo. That's a clean ace, ladies and gentlemen.
I think that might just be the end of the game. I mean, it's obviously going to continue, but this is so much gained here for DRX on this fight after another impact of globals is that it allows you to take more players from further away and win the numbers game. But forcing fights into a 2v2 where you don't even have that numbers game, playing into a Poppy, and then rotating everybody else in where you're still not in position to take this fight as Rich shows up as well. Forcing these Nocturne ultimates, the Paranoia not giving them the advantage they needed to win this one. They got outplayed again.
Well, they might be getting outplayed right now, as Kingen looking to snip on towards Rich. The Wallop not really doing too much there as Yukal and Sponge. They'll turn up, and Rich just hopping away. This is looking like tilt, ladies and gentlemen, as Nongshim, as Calyx could be in a little bit of trouble here, as Silas has not looked fantastic, even though he has picked up a couple of kills, just hasn't found a lot of value in these more recent fights.
It's so hard when you start to fall behind in this Braum, you know? Braum you're dealing with a Poppy, you just don't have as much agency as you once did. And now Victor has, you know, the extra money to have an arm guard on top of his 2-item spike with the Leandri's completed. He already was doing a lot of damage in extended fights, but now he does a ton.
Yeah.
And he has that added safety. And, like, look at the support ultimate, or the support items. Okay, hold on.
Okay. If at first you don't succeed, just go again, as Gravity Well doing a whole lot of work. There is that arm guard that you were talking about, Wolf. You probably should have said that in the comms for Nongshim, though, because Yukal's still kiting this one out. That's another kill. And they, like, every time they engage onto Yukal, every time Yukal makes them all dead. That is going to be a Gnar that's stolen away. He does finally die. And now the question for Nongshim is, was it worth it?
I don't think so. I think they know the answer, and they don't want to know it. They don't want to acknowledge it, I don't think. But it was not, in fact, worth it. As the arm guard was what they really lost. So he can buy so much space here. Ando comes around on the flank, and Gideon is just dead. Like, both the Braum and the Poppy have given so many values in these forced skirmishes here for Nongshim. But Nongshim from behind, they see Victor alone in mid lane. Seems like a good play to go in. Like, that's your natural Nocturne instinct is, I press R. We got to catch this guy. He's not safe. Apart big time in this one.
Yep. And I respect the fact that Nongshim keep pulling the trigger. But it is making it go faster. You know, it's not really pushing them in the right direction as Sponge.
But now we're the same. You and I are exactly the same.
Yep. And Lehens is going to look for something, but there is the double gnaw. The turret is working overtime here at the same time. As they do manage to take it down, Rich might be in trouble as well. Some needlework coming on in. A great wallop.
The way!
He doesn't find it. Over the wall he goes as Kingin will be able to lock that one up. But as you can see, on the other side of the rift, ladies and gentlemen, there is a base that is in shambles. So Rich and an turret in trade for everything.
Yeah, Rich is, let's say, in top diff in all chat.
I reckon that is probably the case. Gideon will be able to use the spell shield this time around on the Keeper's Verdict. Kingin gets back to base, but he's going to see that it is all on fire. Kingin goes golden, but there is no one to help him out. Great interruption there as he tries to dash away, but Andal, like, after those first 5 deaths, he's like, nah, now we lock in. And he absolutely did. Nexus turret's now on the floor. Gio pushing really far forward. Lazyfield once again on the cusp of death, but that's where he likes it, ladies and gentlemen. No redemption for Lehens, and there goes the Nexus. We're going to 3 here.
Crush in the top lane will be a big factor here as well.
I'm really worried because I think if Rich doesn't do really well, there is a real world where DRX will do.
So winning this fight after losing control is going to be tough as
yeah, there's the bullet time just thrown out by Gio. Picks up the kill onto the Skarner at the same time, and Gideon transforms into the Skarner.
UCal from being dove here. It's going to be still quite challenging. Big wave.
Yep, Solar Flare is going to connect, and they look to just get on top of UCal. Andal is playing defense really nicely, though, as the bullet time came on through. Still, UCal going to die, and the curtain call from over the wall here might need to be cancelled as the last bullet does fly on through. Still,
Alex is like just not quite comfortable enough to come over and deny this, and instead decides to just deny some minions by pushing into the turret. Doesn't pick up a plate, but still, one small little
double ups off the minion into him as well. My goodness. Okay, Kingin scrap shielding will get impaled as UCal puts the rocks down and then just shoves him on top of them. Man, Kingin just can't do anything. He is just dead. And this is the value of... And okay, Headbutt Pulverize going to connect. But that's a Leona. Do not engage onto her as Lehens not going to get impaled. The flash forward is a little bit of a waste of time. And Shelly's still getting amongst it. It's UCal that actually locks that one down. But can they keep themselves alive in the fight? Kingin finding some value with the equalizer, but not quite enough. They go 1-for-1 as the Viego's already gone down. Emperor's Divide just to get them out of there as the flash forward. Rich able to pick up the kill onto Calyx. And Gio just trying to keep them in one spot so he can kill them all. Lazyfield going to die as well. Flamethrower from Kingin will be his worst enemy. But in the end, like,
when you think of clean League of Legends, these two teams usually not the first two to come to mind, but we're seeing it. And
we're engaging onto Lehens again. And that is often a bad move. Double stun. Down goes UCal immediately. The bullet time value has been disgusting in this game. Welcome back to you, by the way. Brilliant performance. Kingin also is just going to cook Lazyfield. And they will move back. Look for this Hex Tech Dragon. And Nongshim, that's a good way to solidify yourself in this game.
Yeah, and for DRX, engaging on Leona, as you pointed out, is not necessarily the best way to start things off, as he has Aftershock, he has Eclipse, he is not going to die.
Nope. Even here, as Sponge was thinking about going for that particular option, Gio not going to be as lucky as he looks to walk his way out. Gets a shield, and the Bloodthirster did kind of keep me
It kept it interested?
Yeah, it kept me interested for a second.
Like, wait a minute. Reason to force. Just reminding you.
Well, there is a bullet time as the Weaver's Wall from UCal is continuing to try and make a play here. As, let's see, Seismic Shove does find the misfortune, and down she goes once again. I'm really, like, Caustic Curses is so real, man.
What was that?
I was, like, in that team fight around the Dragon, I was like, Gio, that's so great that you're playing this well. And then twice in a row, things haven't been as great. This is great for Gideon, though. He's going to start with the first kill. Let's see how much more he can get. Takes a long time to kill Lehens as Sponge going to go down. Emperor's Divide just going to hoover up the Jhin. But Calyx is still going to fall. Gideon doesn't have as much damage.
Otacon right now, which has been not great for a lot of our teams here, as Rich does have TP and will show up.
They have so much
damage though, yeah.
Yeah, this is just down as... Oh my god, he steals it! Okay, bullet time is going to be the end of Lazyfield, as we can see. Gideon, it's his turn to be the very long-range Jhin, and he actually picks off UCal. Seismic Shove throws away Gio, but he doesn't care. They're going to grab a double kill.
Misfortune taking the top inner turret, so a bunch of extra gold going into Gio and a lot of extra map control that comes with it, because look at the turrets here. Now, DRX don't really have any control over the map. They were able to get the mid turret, but like the outers and the top and bottom lanes are still up, as we're going to see a deep TP from Kingin.
Yeah, and once again, engage onto Leona is going to be the play.
Almost got him.
Dragon is losing interest. Kingin, I'm not sure about this one, buddy, as that blast code not going to work out as he's thrown into the wall. And yeah, it's
Why
like he was flanking. Who are we engaging on again, Wolf?
The Leona!
Oh no! Okay, Sponge, can you actually get anything done? That equalizer, brilliant, but the Pulverize, even better. The Empress Divide one-ups even that, and they all go down. Nongshim finding a gorgeous angle in this team fight. Also able to take down the turret. Calyx getting to work here.
We have some long death timers here. They're going to escort this minion. They want to try to push to really get into those Nexus turrets, and the Voidling comes out. They've got another wave coming. And also, Andal is not going to be able to buy time.
Oh, and we're not going to call him out for engaging onto a Leona there because the Leona engaged onto him.
Yeah.
The Wolves are also involved.
I think that they might just be able to end this, to be honest. 10 seconds on Lazy Feel. He's a Jin.
I mean,
this
King
is just done so.
and Calyx are all here. This is just going to evaporate. There it goes. Nongshim, 3 games, but they are able to take down DRX in.
Welcome to Onivia Highlights. These are the best highlights from the LCK Spring 2025.
These people are like VOD watchers or something like that, missed the intro. The reason Bull is playing is because Hype is on loan from KT and cannot play against his original team.
I can put some sticks in it so that Cuz isn't too interested in looking for a 50-50.
Yeah, Polo going to be walking out of Banana Brush as now Cuz looking for the angle. Peter finds a quickness onto 2. Fate's Call comes down though. They're going to see what they can do, but it's not going to work. That's first blood going over to Dr. Arm as he pulls back the feathers, and BDD just scatters them to the wind. That flash was brutal on top of 3 people. The charm lands though, and BDD maybe bit off a little more than he alone could chew. But thankfully, Dr. Arm is able to do that.
They end up getting a 3. Have this angle.
Yep.
Flashes in. I mean, this is the kind of play you want to see from a Rakan who has mastery of the champion.
Like an elbow weapon thingy.
I think that's
on
what
Soul in Soul Calibur from Talim. Talim used them in Soul Calibur.
Oh, yeah.
Can't remember. I don't know whether they're exactly what she's using. Now Cuz is looking to go aggressive onto Polu. He will find the quickness, but Bull going to be able to flash away. Seismic Shove though pulls him back. That's good aim there from BDD. Their prize.
Well, they're starting to
be the
flash
top
away. Because Ro are going to heavily commit to this Herald here. 4 members on the top side of the map. BDD on the flank though.
In a little bit of trouble. That is a great charm, point blank, and BDD should be going down. It will take them a while though, and he gets the shield as he completes the Seraphs at the time. That was ludicrous. He still dies, but man, that was pretty good transformation timing. So the Bros, they should be able to grab themselves the Rift Herald while KT exchange that for the outer turret in the mid lane. Kind of a moot point, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
taking the Rift Herald if this is what you're trading for.
Like, I want to get the mid turret.
Malignance is done though. So BDD and Close are both building towards the Leandris. He finds 3. Bros thought they'd set up a trap, but who is trapping who? As they're all just in the grave. The equalizer goes down onto a rock, so it's not necessarily where it wants to be. But Morgan, he is also not where he wants to be. The Ambessa will be taken down. Doctom is just getting everything that he wants right now. 4-0 and 3, 100% kill contribution on Desire. It's the Bros' worst nightmare right now.
It really is. I mean, they had a draft where everything that they're comfortable playing was on the table. They had a draft that could have controlled the early game, but it's they who are engaged upon by KT twice now, Peter. Morgan, you miss every shot you don't take. He took a shot.
He did. And he took a teleport and he had to watch himself go over there as once again, Cuz is dodging stuff and knocking people into the air. Croco going to be on the worst end of that one. Great wall placement once again here for BDD, but they haven't killed anyone just yet. Croco does have a bailout, but unfortunately not going to get bailed out for this one. It was just a little bit too expensive, and the Bros are going to just back away. So only losing Croco.
Can't show up and they know he's there then. You also don't have to fight Smite, so I don't think this is punishable. Like, oh, dodged it, and you're all dead.
And now Soul Point.
If he does not get charmed there, he cyclones a BD Weaver's Wall, and Closer at best case scenario has to flash, and at worst case scenario dies. And they still
yeah, okay. Oh god. This is Quick Blades on top. That means that this Desire is going to really take over. There is the public execution though, is perfect. Could be in some trouble. He doesn't have an arm guard or anything like that. He just looks to cook this wave. And so the Bros, they grab themselves a pick.
But they're gonna lose their mid-inner, I think. So they still lost one. Morgan will eventually be able to put some damage into this turret and hope to get a bounty. And I mean, Morgan can TP, so he can kind of both do this and then show up to the fight. I just don't know if they can win the fight. Look at where Cuz is. He's like, you guys can't be near the Baron. There's a Wukong here, and I'm not going to allow it.
Well, he's seen at the moment, just dives on over. This is just dead.
And Weaver's
Wall is going to stop Croco from doing anything. He needs 2 flashes if he wants to get over that. So the Baron is secured, I would say.
Yeah,
there is an angry siege minion that's out of range. And this is the problem. Everything's out of range. Bro, a very short range right now with this composition. So you can see they're stacking up the siege minions. And like even when becomes lightning can't hit it. You know, like there's nothing that they can do to stop these turrets from falling down. Look at this. It's still there, by the way. Same one.
Yep. Step up this wave, because when my teammates show up, you're going to think otherwise. And BDD, again, sitting on that ultimate. The fact that Bro's this far up is actually kind of concerning, but they're trying to wrap around.
But they need to stop the Mountain Soul, because otherwise they just lose the game. BDD doesn't find the seismic shot, but he'll have that one back available again. Croco goes in. Morgan, public execution is on the table. There's a quickness though, across 3. He's so charming, is this Peter guy. As out goes Croco, Doctom going to follow him though. That's going to be his first kill. Bull trying to pop off in this fight, but Doctom is untouched, unfettered, and KT will just mow them down. It's a little bit bedged there for Degon, but don't worry, my friend. This is a 3-game series, you know? We have to believe that. The Bros just getting through that first one, ripping that Band-Aid off as quickly as possible to make sure that they can get into game number 2.
I'm sure Degon's got some serious optimism moving into game 2.
Oh, yeah.
Even though all the best champions here for these players, Bull got his Callista, now gone. I know he's got the Hopium angle, the Bropium.
He didn't pick his Draven because he knew...
Palm. Like, they both have 100% KP. They've both been involved in every single skirmish.
Maybe this is the Peter angle. He's kind of locked out of it, though, as the seismic shot goes wide. BDD buying some time, as there's the Cyclone and the quickness. Oh, the combo of Cuz and Peter is so beautiful to watch, as Perfect is just burning them alive. Bull not going to get bailed out of this one, and Polu just going to have to leave his 80 carry. I think this is just going to be a clean ace here for KT. Bro, just thinking about getting towards game number 2. And the smite in the air. What the heck? LeBron Cuz? That was so sick.
He snaps his fingers and people die.
Yeah, that's exactly how that one goes. Kind of like Jet Li from that movie where he was the Monkey King.
This game, I really thought was going to be a lot more interesting than it was, but Peter and Cuz said just another day, just another KT win. And this team uses Boomerang and run around and not be hit by it and still feel fine. The Gnar also has a second form of ranged attack damage to break through these. I think KT are pretty happy to sip the tea. I'm not really sure where I'm going with this in terms of the analogy, but like, Bro aren't winning the objectives.
They are not collecting the neutral things on the map.
Like, let's just put it this way, they don't have any dots on that
risk averse. I'm going to say risk averse. Is what they're going for here. Apart from Perfect, who is now going to have to deal with everything being thrown at him. Almost hits Mega Gnar, but does not. Teleports coming in from all over the place, but this one for KT is looking worrying. BDD really wanted to kill Polu. Let's see whether he can get him, and the answer is probably not, ladies and gentlemen.
And 2 TPs for BDD back-to-back, where when he shows up, he does not like what he sees.
Yep.
And that was a bit of a weird one, because now, like, Closer's like, cool. I mean,
oh, there is actually a lot of preach in the chat, so I think most of us are stride breakers, but I feel sorry for the Hexbladers. Maybe they're learning a thing or 3, though. As Peter is also learning some stuff, as he has an unbreakable will, but that's going to wear off. There's the flash, Tibbers. All right. Closer will be able to shift some sands, though. Tibbers chasing after him, but in goes Croco. That paranoia is working out. Hexblade value, baby, is Cuz looking for some resets. Doctom in amongst 3 people as Cuz is now transformed, and this is not the same KT that I was witnessing in game 1.
No, it is certainly not, and some collapse. He's walking down. KT really playing with fire here.
Well, this one is likely to be never mind, not a 50-50, as the train is a little late to the station. Peter is going to interrupt. Closer on a flank angle. As now Bull off to the side, but BDD actually in a great position in this one. The headbutt out of the Scion, but right on top of BDD is unfortunate, so he's going to die. Perfect still looking for something more, and now in for a penny, in for a pound, say KT, as Morgan is just cutting them down where they stand. A true lumberjack is this man, as Bull off to the side with the curtains. He's going to call this fight over.
Did I just watch the same fight twice, basically?
Yeah.
Or Closer defensively, ults doesn't...
Not going to get punished too much, but there are those feats of strength that we were talking about. Closer going to upgrade his shoes by taking down the structure. And now Rift Herald going to be used in exchange. A second one that's just thrown down willy-nilly in the middle of the lane. This time, though, it's going to get a charge.
Yeah, Closer is like, remember Calix's year in the last series where he's up 50 CS? Same thing as, here we go.
All right, well, nowhere near Mega Gnar, and that looks like Perfect should be dying, but Croco going to be going down as well. Morgan running out of buttons here as Cuz, with one reset already put down, is now looking to try and escape. Is able to get himself out of the way as he dodges, gets into the mist as Peter tanks up a few of these curtains that are being called over. I don't know whether it's curtains that he's shooting. I think he calls the curtains and then shoots a gun.
Isn't curtain call just a theater reference?
It is a theater reference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it really is about his gun.
Curtain call's the end of the show.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like, I think he's how to play it out and finish things off. Play around the fact that this Nocturne can be at a moment's notice so far into the enemy backline or just straight up where the rest of the team is pushing.
Yeah.
Gives you side lane pressure even with a Scion. You know, like that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah, no, it's really, really hard for KT to find any way back in. I guess Clownery13 from Twitch chat did say that it's unlosable for the bros. So bro fans, you know who to blame if indeed it is losable in the end.
Nice sidestep, but he may still be in trouble.
Yeah, that heartbreak is heartbreaking, ladies and gentlemen, as he just face plants. Right, he was trying to get into the little bird bath.
Yeah,
see a little bird bath thing that was there?
I see the duck.
I mean, that's what used to be in every single chat forever, as Book is going to catch Cuz, and he's sandwiched. Down he goes, cut down like a tree. Emperor's Divide onto Peter. Headbutts his way back over. Chains of Corruption to try and keep the cow alive, but he's knocked up and anchored back in once more. Is it an overextension? The answer's no. The bros can do whatever they want, ladies and gentlemen. That's a double kill as Doctom goes down. Perfect has given up on his teammates entirely.
Not sure if BDD lives there, by the way, which means that he's healthy as well.
Yeah, he's been healthy all game. Eating well is this Lumberjack.
Well, I think if Bro stood in a Tibber-shaped 5-man unit, and maybe you got a 5-man Tibbers, maybe there's a way, but otherwise...
Well, there's another ult. I don't know what the timing is, but it sounds pretty good for the Hex Platers, as it's a double kill on top of it.
Are you a secret Hex Plater? You're like...
No, I am unbiased, okay? You've got to really sell both sides, right?
Not if you think Strikebreaker is better.
I also think that because because it's here in LoL Park as well, like it does kind of vibrate the ground, like the base of the sound.
Cuz can't, I mean, he can't see, but he can flash smite.
Well, there's a paranoia. As they just dive on in. That is going to be Doctom going down. He's not allowed to play the game. Into the backline goes Closer, finds BDD and delivers him. Peter going to be the last one to go down as the pros just massacre KT. A triple kill for the Hex Plater extraordinaire.
They utilize their vision control incredibly well all game long from start to finish the top side of the map. And here they can't see anything. And they saw it way too late that they were going to get nearly fully wiped. And Bro, bouncing back after a one-sided game one that really didn't fill you with a lot of hope, but we are going the full distance.
Another absolutely beautiful anchor there. 0-0-19 for 18. Sorry, I can't count. 0-0-18 for Polo on this Nautilus as the bros looking for even more. Peter's just like, I'm relevant. Please turn around and hit me. And they're not going to do so. They are focused on taking this Nexus down. Maybe they shouldn't be. Never mind. President Polo's there.
Misfortune is one of those picks that does really well in lane, and if your Leona engages are incorrectly timed, you will lose a lot of health, and you will not necessarily win out.
Top lane, so he's going to have the rude awakening of the lane swap, as we can see Bull making his way up there. With Polu walking over a ward, I'm pretty sure it was at least close to vision. They might get some information as to what's going on.
I remember this one
that if he wanted to get rid of them, but he isn't going to do so, just waits them out. So Realm Warp towards his top side, and oh dear, that door is facing the wrong way, and that is special delivery of the Troll as well. The Troll King coming on over through down away goes the Pantheon.
And that should just be enough Bryo to take this Dragon here. It's going to be the second of the game, and we'll find out what soul we're going to get.
Will Croco get in range? That's the question, because there's a teleport coming in from the Ornn, and KT, they realize that they need to get out. There it is, the Realm Warp for the escape. Croco turns up, he's like, where did everyone go?
I don't know. This situation is pretty on a knife's edge here. Perfect doesn't have mana, so never mind. I was going to say, he had TP. If he just goes in right as they turn, maybe KT actually Realm Warp away and then look for the re-engage, but because Perfect didn't have mana, stayed here so long into the Ornn.
They didn't look that good.
No.
So I'm hoping for a little bit of redemption despite the outcome of this game.
I mean, a lot of the stuff that was happening back then.
Precisely.
Or the bottom duo in general was less than optimal, but as Wadid said, Dr. is a new man.
Whoa!
Follow the flash.
Yeah, Polu is getting in there, is going to be able to stun up the troll here, who does have that subjugate running, I'm pretty sure. There it is. Getting some of that health back, but it's not going to be enough. And KT just lose their jungler with 0 response. Closer putting on so much pressure. And the bros have just said, no, we are doing things this game.
Here comes the wave.
Yeah, there is the bullet time, and nothing that Peter could do about that one. As BDD doesn't have very many minions around for the bros, and they use all of their health bars. And they do not manage to take him down. There it is, finally. Croco is able to get that last spear. As the ram comes in, Doctom, where are you supposed to go, buddy? The answer is back towards the enemy turret.
Yeah,
okay, this is a bit of a cute exit plan. Doesn't have the 90 caliber net right now, but he'll get into the brush. And he's got flash and barrier. He's alive.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you only...
Oh, God, if you just go back to the mid lane and keep farming, that would be so bad.
Yeah,
of this Rift Herald going down as Bull realizes he's not allowed to walk towards the mid lane. Gets back towards the rest of his team, and he's in a decent bullet time position right now. Teleport in from BDD is Morgan. Looking to walk on over. And Cuz off to the side. There's the flash forward. Realm Warp to get them into the backline as Closer is the target here for KT. They should be able to take him down as Morgan throws the ram in, but it just sails by. And there's the flash. King's Tribute also giving Cuz all of his health bar back, and that is a very cute house being put down. It is scary, especially if you're a Polu fan.
Yeah, those blinking eyes are creepy too, but at the end of the day, they get the extra catch there. 2 kills go over.
So a little bit rude of the Rift.
Yeah, a little Ocean Soul Magic, gonna feel pretty good about that. Gonna feel good if you could pick up some of those for Morgan, as you're getting otherwise battered around by this Jace. Is Croco's out?
Yeah, has to walk between. Doesn't quite work out there as Cuz still looking to put on as much pressure as possible. Bull shows himself, KT back away. As the Dragon still position being fought for here.
Perfect has total control of this top side, and with a backing Ornn, he should be able to get this turret. He has TP, and they're going to have this charge here with the Herald. So,
all right, Peter. To get the knock-up, that's pretty cute. Gets himself out of there. Gravity well not going to quite work as the teleport comes in from the Ornn. Croco going to engage into the backline as well as Doctom with the 90 caliber net, but the Arcane Storm will take him down. The bottom lane eviscerated, and they should be able to get themselves an Ocean Dragon. He's moving over here as Perfect in this top lane is running amok, but I think they'll trade that top lane outer turret for this Dragon and a couple of kills.
Well, for Peter in this case, I think you could have been okay with just burning the Dragon and finishing it off. I don't know how low it was, because Cuz was doing Dragon while the Herald was being dropped, while also Perfect was getting the top side turret. I think KT tried to do way too many things all at the same time. And when Morgan doesn't have TP and Perfect does. So the situation here for KT is pretty... It's pretty God mode. Like, you basically can do whatever you want. This is a sandbox game. They can move bro around however they want. They have control of this brush with not only a ward, but also these 3 Caitlyn traps. So they're not going to be able to start Otacon, but they can threaten.
Yeah, well, now they're looking for BDD. There's the flash out. Solar Flare does not find Croco at all as Peter gets into the backline, interrupts the bullet time very nicely, but Closer is free hitting. In comes Perfect. He's going to try and disrupt this Victor, and Croco goes down. The war of attrition being won here from KT because a man comes in with a big hammer and smacks down the damage dealers. KT, they almost ace bro, and Morgan was just lumbering towards the top lane and couldn't get there in time.
The whole set
not work.
They disappear.
They do, and you get Subjugate and then a Caitlyn that's going to be able to actually have a massive amount of DPS. Like, that is not a frontline anymore. As in the spotlight is Dagon. Not feeling like this is going to be a bro win, but one of the best things that you can get as a bro fan is as many games as possible. And do you know what we got today? We got as many games that is possible.
Yeah, would you rather watch
story without losing to everyone?
If true Bro fans would actually have to abandon the fandom if they were like a top 2 team.
Yep.
I feel like that's what you'd have to do as a Bro fan. You'd be like, wow, I guess that's it. I hope they lose next season so I can come back.
That's kind of like the KT fans. They have to not want KT to win for KT to have any hope of winning. All right, Morgan.
Let's subjugate him.
Yeah, so
fight him.
This is what we were talking about. The pillar goes up. He was waiting for the searing charge, and yeah, Morgan does take a while, but he does go down.
Pillar is bigger than yours.
Oh yeah, it actually is too, and it's a little doggo. 6 items. Bro will have more stats, right?
Yeah,
because he makes the items gooder. And they've got the Seraph's bear hug. That's done. Because I think that's bigger than an embrace.
I mean, I think it's a huge win that Bro were able to stop them from being able to start Baron at all.
Yeah. BDD looks for Croco in that side lane, or at least towards the side here as Morgan gets engaged on. And that's kind of good for the Bros. Down goes the Jace. That's a lot of their damage, but there goes the Ornn. The front line's gone, and BDD is a monster. He's in amongst 4 people, and he likes those odds as Closer gonna get taken down to half and then finished off as Doctom gets the headshot. And you thought you were getting away, Polu. That is not the way. It's Bull. It's your birthday. It was your birthday yesterday, so we'll let you live. But KT probably not wanting to say the same for the Dragon, or perhaps the Baron.
They don't have a huge wave. This is a beautiful turn here. Like, Morgan gets the double knockup, then they have the Misfortune ult channeled on top of it. But unfortunately, they're just so far behind this game that BD is basically a raid boss. He's just so healthy.
To be honest, like, that's a bit confusing. That shot blast, not confusing. That's just deadly. Solar Flare, gorgeous, as in goes Peter right underneath the turret. He's dead. And not really too many good things happened. It's a very big Arcane Storm.
Well, I mean, the Nexus is still alive.
Yeah, it ain't over. Dagon's breathing, as we can see. BDD looking for a battle as the Ram flies by. The Gravity Well is doing a whole bunch of work as Closer. He can go into stasis as well. And that's so much damage onto Doctom. He's stunned for about 16 years. As Polu's gonna get, no, never mind. They stun him up and down goes Cuz. And there is 4 still alive on the Bros. They're looking to try and turn this.
I didn't think that the buffer of the Leona Zenith Blade by Closer pulling him in was going to be an impactful moment.
Wait, they have to, like, they've taken 1 turret, but can they do it?
I don't think so. There's too much to go
30
through.
30 seconds.
It's just, it's not about, like, the wave size here. It's just the time it's going to take. Like, BDD and Doctom should be able to respawn here. Peter can also buy time here. Just drops the Solar Flare down, trying to slow this wave. And I think, Bro, that's about it. Ryo in the mid lane, but they don't have control over the Drake pit itself. Is perfect.
He runs really fast, but there's Grand Starfall. Buzz didn't know that he was the target, as he is going to get stunned up. The subjugation is almost working into the backline. Goes perfect though. He shuts down Bull, and he gets another to the skies, and that's exactly where he's sending the Bros. The headshots are raining in as Doctom will be unanswered, flashing after Morgan. Where is your lord now? Well, he's in the death chamber as KT are looking for the win, and Croco head in hand. Oh
man, what a play from Perfect though. The perfect angle finds Bull in the backline there. Totally.
And Wolf, I thought AI was going to be the end of casting, but I think it was actually perfect. Because that play, I think, solidified his position in the top lane.
I thought it was going to take a few more years for AI to actually take over casting, but I also thought it might be a few more seasons before Perfect solidified his position. But I think maybe you're right, that was...